There's a lot of things that you talk about um, on a regular basis. One of them is whitelisting at scale.
Yeah,
This is talking about a ton of whitelisting profiles that are running, not partnership ads, dark posts that don't show on the influencer's timeline, multiple influencer touch points in the same session.
yeah,
So you went and said whitelisting, you spent 1.2 million versus brand and the cheaper CPC, it was a dollar cheaper CPC and a way better North Beam ROAS at 1.29 versus 0.76. Talk about what whitelisting is scale and your sauce there.
yeah. So basically, we realized that no matter the client, when we introduce whitelisting, especially from the authority pages. So let's say if you're in pet space, then you find a veterinarian. If you're in a I don't know, pain, then you find a who- pediatrician. If you're like in a skincare dermatologist, so like those people tend to have like bigger influence on regular users. They add credibility. The fact that when you're running through the multiple pages at the same session, you can see different ads at the same time, although it is the same advertiser just running through the different pages. When you run through the brand page, you can see one ad per session. So it creates that sense that everybody's using the product. So we then just like build a massive flywheel of these influencers uh, that we actually put into every ad account. So like for our internal brand, I think we tested more than 300, 400 whitelisting profiles. So basically, every week I'm testing like between 5 and 10 new profiles. And like again, it creates a sense that like every single authority in this space is using our product. Obviously, this is quite expensive at the scale because these influencers that are authorities. Like I have some girls that we're paying like 20K per video plus usage right. But those are like, those are proven influencers, those are authorities, those are people that I know no matter the ad I launch, it will be a winner. So I pay 20K, but I spend 20K a day. So basically I offset that in a week.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different like levels to this. So I'm curious, like, does the partnership, whitelisting, however you like all of that, does that differ depending on the scale that the brand is at? Like if they're spending less than 2K a day or less than 5K a day, are you approaching in a different direction? It sounds like maybe you try to go for the expert and authority people first, regardless of scale.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know, in clothing, there's no expert. So you just go people that fit your avatar. Um, Obviously the less you're spending, the less people you can actually have because they're sometimes more expensive, but we try. I would say like as you scale you get actually more of those people, so that's the main. It kind of like goes with the volume.
Yeah. And the two follow-up questions to that: how are you finding these people in general? And then the follow-up
Okay.
to that would be, how are you and I know it depends, you just said it depends based on the person, but, like, what does the general, partnership agreement look like with that person? It's fixed plus percentage of spend, it's just percentage of spend. I'm
Yeah.
curious what that average looks
Okay,
like.
good question. So first question, how do we find them? So we have, for our internal brand, we have like 4 people in the influencer team that is just like finding people and negotiating. We leverage some tools like Facebook Creator Marketplace. It was a terrible tool until a few months. Now it's amazing tool, and my influencer team tells me that like they find more people there than any other software. Um, Also, we started using, I think it's Super Bloom. It's an agency that helps that. Basically, but like we're on that level that we can pay, 4 or 5K for an influencer because we know there's a script that works. Obviously, when you're smaller, it's just like reaching manually to people on Instagram or to Creator Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is better because these people already know what that process looks like. They already have the pages set up, so it's easier. In terms of the payment, it's mostly so initially we had deals that we pay them for content and then we repurpose that content for an ad. Now we are just paying them to get the content, so you don't even have to post it on your page. I just want your handle, and I just want to be able to run the ads through your page. So they give us raw video, we chop it up into 3, 4 different hooks. We send it for approval. We send the ad copy for approval. We send the access to get the request to get the access. Once they approve that, I have the access. I launch that ad as a new ad set in my testing campaign. And literally, there's no brand that we work with that did not have a positive impact from introducing whitelisting.